Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Sarkis. I'm a psychotherapist, author, and I specialize in ADHD. And this video is for Attitude, which is a resource for children and adults with ADHD. And my website, stephaniesarkis.com. And this video is for attitudemag.com. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to cope with or how to deal with family members that make I would say kind of derogatory comments about ADHD or your ADHD related behavior. And I think what's neat about this video is that I'm going to answer a question that someone, a contributor, sent into Attitude. And I think it's a question that a lot of people with ADHD, I know my clients, a lot of them have this question as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and read that question as it was written. My older sister doesn't get my ADHD. She says I lie to her or only give her half-truths when I know I've told her the truth. She says I intentionally fail at things like my marriage or avoid things altogether. Of course, I don't. How can I help people better understand what ADHD is all about and how it affects me? Again, that's a great question. I've had a lot of people with ADHD ask me that question. And I think, first of all, it's important to know that you have rights, and one of those rights is to not have people talk to you in that way. It's almost an impossible situation when you have someone telling you that you're lying and you know you're telling the truth. It's hard to resolve that kind of conflict. And also saying that you intentionally fail at things like your marriage. I'm not sure how someone would intentionally fail at their marriage, but I can't imagine how difficult that is to hear that from your family member, and especially your sister. And I think that, we do have the right to say, don't talk to me like that. We have the right to walk away and take a break. We also have the right to say, this is what ADHD really is. It's not anything to do with morals. It's nothing to do with whether you're lazy. It is a biological and neurological disorder. And I think it's really important to emphasize that. And there are a lot of really great resources available, because I think you should just present the facts to someone that doesn't believe in ADHD or doesn't really feel like you have ADHD or accuses you of things. I think it's important just, again, to be armed with facts and try to separate emotions out of it. And that's really difficult, especially when it's a family member that's kind of barraging you. But I think, again, it's important just to state the facts, and that speaks very loudly in terms of the research that's been done. There have been genes identified that are linked to ADHD. There are brain scans that identify structural and biological differences in the ADHD brain. There are lower levels of neurotransmitters in the brain. And I think it's really important, again, to be armed with facts. One really good book is called ADHD in Adults, What the Science Says. And that book, one of the authors in that is Russell Barkley, who is really highly acclaimed and respected in the field of ADHD and in science overall. And there were two longitudinal studies, meaning two studies over many years, looking at people with ADHD and how ADHD affects their daily functioning and how it affects life. And I think it's really important, again, that's a great book just to look at the biological and genetic components of ADHD, and also just how it really does impact people. And I think also, if you've grown up being told that you're lazy or stupid, I think that sometimes we don't always stand up for ourselves. And I think, again, it's important just to say, I don't want you talking to me like that, and that's not acceptable. And again, if you need to walk away, tell somebody, I just need to take a break and just walk away, count. I say, for people who are on ADHD, I say count 1 to 10 and then relax. People with ADHD, because our emotions kind of tend, especially anger, can kind of rev up really quickly. I think you should count from 1 to 25. I think that's a better number. So again, I think it's okay to just walk away and say it's not acceptable. And if you do provide the facts of ADHD, and that it is a genetic, biological, neurological disorder, and the person in your family still barrages you with comments, inappropriate statements, I think at that point it's worth considering, whether you need to limit contact with this person, especially if it becomes emotionally abusive, especially in that case. I think it's important to talk to a counselor if things are really getting out of control. But I think, again, for people in the family and friends that just don't understand ADHD and they've been misinformed about. I think education with the facts is really important. And again, if that isn't helping, I think maybe possibly putting your focus on more positive people in your life. So again, you have value, you have worth, and you also have rights. And I think that you're not alone. That a lot of people with ADHD have experienced family and friends that either don't believe in the diagnosis or give them a very difficult time. So I think that you're definitely not alone, and I think there are ways to help yourself, have a better quality of life, and improve your relationships with your family. So I'm Dr. Stephanie Sarkis. I'm a psychotherapist and author. I'm also a contributor to Attitude, which is a resource for children and adults with ADHD. And my website is stephaniesarkis.com, and this video is for attitudemag.com.